Coming up on Molson, That's Hockey 2. Round 2 for the Mighty Ducks and the Flames at the Saddle Dome. The Canucks continue on the road as they meet the Capitals in Washington. The Habs and Lightning hooked up in Tampa Bay. And the Leafs and Flyers battled at the ACC. It's all coming up next on Molson, That's Hockey 2. Welcome into Molson, That's Hockey 2. Todd Lewis along with Pierre Maguire. 13 games on the NHL schedule, including a little rematch out west, wasn't it?
A big rematch out west.
All right, let's get right to it. A much anticipated rematch between the Anaheim Mighty Ducks and the Calgary Flames. Of course, with in their last game, with a little over 4 minutes to go, Kevin Sawyer runs Mike Vernon, which led to the slugfest that everybody got into. Well,
and that's what led to
3
this.
minutes into this one, Denny Lambert and Craig Berube get it going. Later in the first, fighting continues. Jamie Allison and Craig Sawyer. Ducks will open the scoring. Oleg Tverdovsky feeds Andy McDonald. It's his fourth of the year, and it's 1-0 Ducks. Does the scoring really count? At the end of the first, we got more tempers flare. No more big punches, but there was a pretty serious headlock or two going on. End of the second period, Scott Nickel will try the wraparound. It deflects in off Tverdovsky. It's his fifth of the year, and we got a tie game at 1. Later on in the second period, Ducks look to even the score. Ruslan Saleh will ping one off the crossbar, and the fighting did carry over as well into the second. Sawyer baits Regier, and Regier would go. He would get the minor, but the Flames don't score. Third period, Calgary wastes no time taking the lead. Chris Clark's shot gets past J.S. Jaguar, sixth of the season. 2-1 lead Calgary. Late in the third, Ducks are pressing. Jeff Friesen spins, rings it off the post. Have another look. The post saves the day for the Calgary Flames. It's a 2-1 Flames victory final. Nickel and Clark get the goals for the Calgary Flames. But 2-1, they get the victory over the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, and 2 big points for the Calgary Flames. Let's take a closer look, though, at Andy McDonald's goal for the Mighty Ducks.
Well, you know, one of the big things about playing defense in the National Hockey League is communicating, and we're going to get a good example of a lack of communication, Todd, between the Calgary Flames, Mark Savard, and the defenseman Tony Lidman, who's engaged right here. Look at all the Calgary Flares. They're all engaged extremely well. Cycle starts. Kjellberg leaves the puck for Tverdovsky. Now a pick is incurred right here. Lidman and Savard have to communicate. Instead, they don't communicate very well, and Savard doesn't work hard to fight through the pick. Tverdovsky, who's a very elusive player, now has created a 2-on-1 with McDonald against Igor Kravchuk. Look at how wide the seam is for Tverdovsky to be able to make that pass. McDonald has it, and he finishes the play. At the end of the day, Mark Savard played 8 minutes and 24 seconds, and he played almost 6 minutes in the first period. So this tells me that Mark Savard was sat down by his coach, Greg Gilbert. That's not a good sign for the Calgary Flames. They got through this thing tonight because Anaheim was a tired team, not nearly as effective as, let's say, the Calgary Flames are. Now the real iron starts for Calgary. You're looking at tough tests against Toronto, Vancouver, and Colorado. I mean, we're talking about some angry teams coming into the Saddle Dome. Be interesting to see how they respond.
Heavy sledding for the Calgary Flames if they hope to get back into the playoff picture, because they are still out right now.
They are out by 1 point because the New York Islanders did a little tap dance on the LA Kings tonight. But you know, when you watch that Calgary team play right now, they're relying far too much on Roman Turek, and it's a tired time of the year for most goaltenders in the league. They're going to have to get better defensively, and I know Greg Gilbert's going to stress that.
All right, next stop would be the Air Canada Centre, and hey, you know, fight night turned out to be in Toronto. Donald Brashear and Ty Domi found each other's company, well, rather amusing to say the least. A little later in the first period, Domi and Brashear renew acquaintances for another dance. Brashear would get the best of Domi, and Ty's looking for reinforcements in case they go. Big hits, Jeremy Roenick on Dmitry Yushkevich, then Yushkevich on John Leclerc, a big one there as well. Into the second period, Domi goes to the offensive, all alone in close, but he can't beat Roman Cechmanek. At the other end, Domi's buddy Brash gets a chance. Here's how it's done. Wind up and hammer it. Brashear's seventh. It's 1-0 Flyers. By the way, hits are still fast and furious as well. Gary Roberts and Justin Williams.
Clean.
Cechmanek outstanding in the period. Toe save on Brian McCabe. Thank you. And then the glove on Michael Renberg. A little more robbery in the third. Jonas Hoagland's rush is stopped by Cechmanek, but And Matt Sadine pokes the loose puck into Czechmanic's rear. Flyers looking for some insurance for their keeper. Justin Williams will be stopped here, but Primo passes the rebound to him, and it's his 11th. Relations between this couple growing a bit strained. Darcy Tucker and Luke Richardson kind of beating on each other pretty good here. Czechmanic would get his second shutout of the season as the Flyers get the 3-0 victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs and extend their winning streak to 8 games.
And you got a little taste of how good the Philadelphia Flyers could be in this game because they were dominant in all facets, including on the forecheck. You know, Todd, when you talk about Philadelphia, you talk about size, speed, and strength and determination. They do a great job turning pucks over, and they have speed guys like Paul Ranheim. They have big guys like Donald Brashear, and they get pucks in deep. Paul Ranheim does a good job keeping it deep, and he creates an opportunity. Puck stays in, Donald Brashear on his horse. Now I want you to watch this player, Yuri DePita. He's going to go off the ice, and they're going to be able to make a line change. Good pursuit by Brashear. This shows you how strong this team truly is. Curtis Joseph handles the puck. Smart pinch by Kim Janssen on Travis Green. He's able to keep the puck in. This is how heavy this team pursues the puck, and they'll drive a lot of teams nuts. Remember we were talking about a line change? Paul Ranheim's still on the ice. Marty Murray's now on the ice instead of Yuri DePita. Good stick position, trying to channel the puck carrier up the boards, and he does it. But look at how they shut it off. Ranheim and exchanges positions with Marty Murray. Ranheim's on his horse right now. This is really an amazing shift by the Philadelphia Flyers, all in the same sequence. Again, we see the foot speed and the smart play. Who's that guy? That's Fedoruk. He's on the ice. Brashear's gone off. Chance on goal. They're driving the Toronto Maple Leafs nuts. Look at the sustained pressure. Ranheim, Murray, Fedoruk, all over them. Darcy Tucker going to try to get it out. No chance. Fedoruk keeps it in, and he's doing all kinds of good little work down low, strong on the puck. It's absolutely amazing. Now the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to counterattack. Check this out. Line change has already taken place. Lane lock. Mark Recchi engaged. Lane lock. Lane lock. The only guy up ice, number 29, Fedoruk. That's an absolutely amazing shift by the Philadelphia Flyers. Domination personified. That's why they are the best team in the Eastern Conference, and I think the second best team in the NHL right now, right behind the Detroit Red Wings.
And the Toronto Maple Leafs are now winless in their last 5 games. All right, next stop is Sky Reach Center in Edmonton as Mario and the Pittsburgh Penguins are continuing their tour of Western Canada. And in the second period, Alexei Kovalev gets tied up. He kicks it out to Yanni Laukkanen in the front, and he beats Tommy Salo. It's 1-0 Pens. Johan Hedberg in net for Pittsburgh flashes the leather. A big glove save on Ren Murray, and he keeps it at a 1-0 game. Then some bad luck for Mike Comrie. Takes the puck off the face. Ouch. Just another day at the office, right? Yeah. Then a scare for Edmonton as well. Ryan Smith collides with Hans Janssen. Ryan Smith in some pain, but apparently just got the wind knocked out of him. He would return to the game. We come back in for the third period. Go to the last minute of play. Oilers with the extra attacker, but Jochen Hesch can't get a stick on it with the open cage. Pens hang on. They get the 1-0 victory. Hedberg with career shutout number 6.
You know, the big thing for the Edmonton Oilers going 0 for 5 on the power play. Johan Hedberg was absolutely amazing in goal for the Pittsburgh Penguins. But if you have the 17th rated power play on home ice against the 15th rated penalty kill, who's on the road, you've got to take advantage of it. 5 opportunities for the Edmonton Oilers, Todd. They didn't capitalize on any. That's why they had a 1-0 deficit in this game.
All right, next stop is the Ice Palace. Habs in Tampa. Michelle Therrien's team 2-1-2 in their last 5, but just 1 road win in their last 10. But Habs strike early. Buck 23 and Jan Bulis centers for Andreas Dackel, and he beats Halby Bull in Dackel's 10th. It's 1-0 Habs. 2 minutes later, Dackel will return the favor. A nice pass in. Bulis. Nice finish. 2 pucks past the Bulin wall. 4 minutes in, 2-0 Habs. The Bulin wall crumbled. 3-zip Habs after 1. Bulin replaced by Kevin Weeks. He didn't fare much better. Oleg Petrov to Richard Zednik, and he pops in his 12th. Habs are up 4-0. Into the third period, it's 4-1 Habs after 2. Mike Ribeiro takes the Yannick Perreault feed. A couple of nice moves, and he'll beat Weeks for number 8. It's 5-1 Montreal. Jose Theodore was sharp in goal for the Canadians on this night. 24 saves in total. Here, Brad Richards, a nice setup for Pavel Kubina, but Theodore gets enough glove on it. Too much excitement for some of these hometown fans, and the Habs cruise to a 5-1 victory over the listless Lightning, and this is a big win for the Montreal Canadiens on the road.
Compared to most nights for Jose Theodore, only 21 shots on goal by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Usually Jose Theodore is facing between 30 and 35. That's point number one. Point number two, the Tampa Bay Lightning were not ready to play today. They were ready yesterday against the Chicago Blackhawks. That's why they got a 2-2 tie against that elite team. Today, an absolute no-show against the Montreal Canadiens, starting right in goal with Nikolai Habibulin.
All right, next stop is Washington, Canucks and Capitals. Adam Oates presented with a silver stick before the game in honor of his 1,000th assist. Cavs start out physical. Brendan Witt drills Daniel Sedin. And Matt Cook will lead the Canucks with 152 hits in 49 games. No different here as Cook will nail Chris Simon. Watch it. Boom! Then he gets taken out by Dmitry Kristich. In the second period, more physical stuff. Brendan Witt takes Trevor Lukowski right into your living room. A little later, Vancouver on the power play as Ed Jovanovski will tee it up, and he beats Olaf Kolzig for his 13th. It's 1-0. Now 2-0, and the Caps are trying to regroup. Sergei Gonchar elbows former captain Trevor Linden, and, well, he gets two. On the ensuing power play, Matthias Olin shoots. The rebound goes to Marcus Naslund, and he gets the goal. It's his fourth. It's 3-0. In the third, Marcus Naslund takes it to the net and dishes to Brendan Morrison. He banks in his 12th. It's 4-0. Each team would add one more, and the Vancouver Canucks cruise to a 5-1 victory, big road win.
This was a tired Washington Capital team who got pummeled the night before in Detroit. Vancouver Canucks 3 for 3 on the power play. Their power play going into this game, Todd, 21st in the league. Washington Capitals 16th in the league on the penalty kill. That was a monster difference in this game. The live, fresh legs of the Canucks and the excellent power play.
Next stop is the Corel Center, and Patrick Lalime and the Sens trying to avoid their second three-game losing streak of the year as they take on Manny Fernandez in the Wild. Braddock Bog looking to put the Sens up on the wraparound, but Fernandez gets a little help from his D. In the second period, Patrick Lalime makes the nice stop on the point shot, turns away Andrew Burnett twice on the rebound. A little more Lalime. Darby Hendrickson with the drive. Lalime gets a little glove on it, keeps the Wild off the board. We're still in the second, and Wild get to Lalime as Wes Walz beats the goaltender with a quick release. It's his 9. Sens will come right back, though. Andre Roy picks out Chris Herberger, who will convert his third. It ties the score. A little later, a 5-on-3 advantage for Ottawa. The Wilds can't clear. There it is. Puck comes to Martin Havlat. He calmly puts in his 17th. In the third, Karl Rakunik was the nice cross-ice feed here. Bonk can't get it to go, but Sean McEachern's there. He gets his 7th. It's 3-1 Ottawa. Sens pull away in this one. 4-1 is your final score. The Sens don't make it 3 losses in a row, and the Sens need a little bit of momentum heading into Detroit on Sunday.
Very good point by you. The Ottawa Senators had to come from behind in this one, but this was really a dominating game for Ottawa. 26-16 were the shots. They were all over the Minnesota Wild. Big turning point in the game, though, where Minnesota lost a lot of momentum when Waltz turned the puck over on the 5-on-3 advantage for Ottawa. All he had to do is clear it out. Probably would have kept Minnesota in the game a lot longer.
All right, when we come back on Molson, that's hockey too. The Abs and Sharks are swimming in the tank. Who sinks and who swims? Find out when we return.
Travel for work, $16,000 a month. Gloves for work, $12 a pair. Miscellaneous work expenses, $320 a year. Having a job that never, ever feels like work, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard, official card of the NHL and lifelong fan of Phil Pritchard, keeper of Lord Stanley's Cup.
We pitted Castrol Syntec 1030 against the leading conventional oils in some of the world's toughest tests. The 96-hour TU3 viscosity test. The M111E, designed to break down an oil into sludge. The blistering hot VWIC deposit test. Not one conventional oil could pass all these tests. Then again, there's nothing conventional about Syntec. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
What's the real sports fan looking for? More scores, stats, information, more expert analysis, more coverage of your team. All the details, all the time, anywhere. What the real sports fan needs is tsnmax.ca. tsnmax.ca offers detailed sports information from Canada's leading sports experts, email alerts, web alerts, wireless access, pools, and you can personalize it so you get all the information you need. tsnmax.ca. Max your sports IQ.
When Michael disappeared, it was my worst nightmare, and it still is. You can help make your neighborhood safer by becoming a block parent.
Molson That's Hockey Too is brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.
Let's head off to San Jose. There's Patrick Waugh, future MVP goalie and Hall of Famer. Joe Sakic also likely to get there. Sharks get the first chance in this game. Gary Suter with the point shot. Vinny Damphus bangs it off the post. Then with Scott Thornton in the box for tripping. Alex Tanguay with the pass through the crease. Radim Verbata, his fifth. It's 1-0 Avs. Marco Sturm in the sin bin for roughing. Rob Blake the big shot. Chris Drury has the rebound. It's his 12th. Early in the second, Martin Skula steps in from the point and he finds the top shelf over Evgeny Nabokov. His 7th, it's 3-0 Avs. Then in the third, Adam Foote blows a tire on a clearing attempt. He goes down hard and would be forced to leave the game. The team would go on to the victory, though. 3-1. Could be a costly one, though, if Adam Foote is out for an extended period of time again. Colorado Avalanche with the 3-1 victory. Colorado Avalanche playing pretty well. San Jose had won a couple in a row, though, heading into this game.
No, San Jose had won a couple in a row, but Colorado really wanted a little payback because when they've played San Jose, they've outshot them, they've dominated them physically, and they really haven't been able to take advantage of Nabokov. But tonight, the power play was a difference. 2 for 8, San Jose 0 for 7, and you could see the confidence start to come in the Colorado Avalanche as the game went along. This was not a real tough night for Patrick Waugh in a lot of this game. He did have to come up with some big saves, but Colorado was pressuring and pressuring and pressuring. They were physical. They matched San Jose hit for hit, and you could see they really want to win this game.
And they get the 3-1 victory. All right, next stop is St. Louis. It's the first of a home-and-home series between the Bruins and the Blues, and Bruins trying to win in St. Louis for the first time since October of '95. In the first, Keith Tkachuk breaking in, but Byron Dafoe robs him, scoreless after one. In the second, Scott Mellenby drops to Pavel Demitra. He finds Tkachuk, who puts home his 24th. It's 1-0 Blues. Late in the second period, Joseph Stumple just throws the puck at the net. Brent Johnson can't control it. Marty Lapointe slams home his 11th. We're tied at 1 after 2. In the third, Alex Kavanagh with the horrible giveaway, but Johnson robs Ryan Ralston to keep this one tied. And this one went to OT. In the extra session, Keith Tkachuk driving wide, gets a bit of a hook from Hal Gill, but it does get him the call, and Tkachuk makes him pay. Byron Dafoe makes the initial stop, but Tkachuk puts home the winner. It's his 25th. It's his second on the night. And the final score is 2-1 St. Louis Blues. Lapointe gets the 1 goal for the Bruins, 2 for Tkachuk, including the OT winner.
2 elite teams going at it tonight, and the big difference in this game was the fact that there was a late call on Hal Gill going into overtime. That allowed the St. Louis Blues to go on the power play. And when you have big shooters like Pronger and McInnes and big hombres like Keith Tkachuk that can dram the net, there's not much the defense or the goaltender for the opposition can do. Nick Boynton couldn't do much on that winning goal, and Byron Dafoe couldn't do much on the winning goal. So great game. Rematch coming on Monday. Buckle up.
Canes and Devils next in the Meadowlands. Ron Francis playing in his 1,538th game, tying him with John Busick for 6th most in the NHL. Scoreless in the second when 2 newly acquired Canes get it going. Kevin Adams feeds Brett Hedican, who scores his first as a Hurricane. 4th of the year, it's 1-0 Carolina. Now tied at 1 in the second. On the power play, Brian Rafalski's point shot stopped. Jason Arnott puts in his 15th on the rebound. Now 2-1 Devils. 3-1 Devils in the third when Eric Cole's pass in front goes off Rafalski skating in. Cole gets his 12th. It's 3-2 Devils. There's still 3-2 Jersey late, and Aaron Ward will take the shot. It goes through traffic and in past Marty Brodeur. His third. We're tied at 3. Overtime settles nothing. This one finishes in a 3-3 tie. Devils give up a 2-goal lead in the third.
And it's not the first time that it's happened, and it probably won't be the last. I think they're going to have to do some tinkering with their defense. But one guy that really showed up for New Jersey today, Jason Arnott. Another guy that showed up for New Jersey today, Bobby Holik. 6 shots on goal. He's a big physical force in the game.
Islanders and Kings are next. Felix Potvin and the Kings, winners of 7 of their last 8, hosting Alexei Yashin in the Isle. Minute into the first, Kip Miller beats Potvin 5-hole, and Felix would like a mulligan here. Miller has his first. At the other end, Gar Snow with a flurry of saves. A right pad on Steve Hines. Andreas Lilia's point shot will get turned away, and Adam Deadmarsh can't find the net on a rebound. Second period, Isles in the power play. Adrian Aucoin's point shot finds the back of the net for his 4th, and New York breaks LA's streak of 46 consecutive penalty kills. Scores now 3-1. Ziggy Palffy's centering attempt deflects off Claude Lapointe in for his 12th, but too little, too late. Isles hold on to win. 3-2 victory. That's the 3rd victory on this 5-game road trip for the New York Islanders. 3-2 over the Los Angeles Kings. Still to come on Molson, That's Hockey 2. The Thrashers were battling with the Panthers in Florida. All the action when we return.
Mario, over here, Mario. Do you think you can win the big game tonight?
Mario, did you eat your chunky soup?
Ma?
Did you eat your chunky grilled chicken with pasta?
Yes, I did, Mom. With all those big chunks of grilled chicken and hearty pasta, it's the soup that helps fill me up.
Just want to make sure you're eating your chunky soup.
Hey, that's my mom.
Chunky grilled chicken with pasta is the soup that eats like a meal.
Dearly beloved, welcome to Kia's I Do sales event, featuring the stylish Spectra with both good looks and good manners, the eager and still available Rio, and the independent yet willing Sportage 4x4. All ready to commit with the best 5-year warranty in the business. Now do you, the customer, want to take us, Kia, for a test drive? Just say I do. As with any marriage, some conditions apply.
Every year, women across Canada get their breasts examined for signs of cancer. But what about their bottoms?
Molson That's Hockey 2 is brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.
All right, let's head to Florida. Thrashers and Panthers. Thrashers losers of 6 of their last 7 road games. Thrashers up 1-0 in Atlanta on the power play. Tony Herka centers to Pascal Rayome, and he gets his 5th in the year. It's 2-0 Thrash. Then on another power play, Danny Heatley passes to Pascal Rayome. He finds the net. 2nd of the game, 3-0 Thrashers. Then Atlanta up 3-1. Pascal Rayome steps over the line. He completes the hat trick. 1st of his career, 7th goal on the season, and it is 4-1 Atlanta. A little nice passing here. Atlanta's Tony Herkus to Rayome. Over to Ilya Kovalchuk, his 24th. It's now 5-1. As if 3 wasn't enough. Well, Ilya Kovalchuk takes the shot, and Rayome is there to clean up the rebound. 4th of the game, completes the career night. Thrashers win this one by a 6-1 final.
And we all know how hot Rayome, Heatley, and Kovalchuk were in this game. The goaltenders for Florida weren't. Luongo started the game. He was pulled. Kidd came in. But the big thing about this game, Todd, the amount of fisticuffs that took place. Clearly, these two teams don't like each other. Brewing down the road, intense rivalry. South Florida, Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be interesting.
Sabres and Coyotes going at it, and there was a hunk of burning something in Phoenix for Elvis night. 2 minutes in, JP Dumas finds Stu Barnes in the corner. He gets it through Danny Markov and Robert Esch. Sabres are up 1-0. Scary moment for Christopher Kalanos. He goes head first to the boards as Vaclav Varada hits him from behind. Varada gets 5 and a game. In the second period, still in the power play, Daniel Briere will circle in front, jams it past Biron for his 17th, and hey, we're tied at 1. Only minutes later, Sabres go ahead. Maxim Avinaganov cross ice to Jay McKee. He goes far side, second of the season. Sabres add the empty netter. Home was a heartbreak hotel tonight as the Sabres down the Dogs 3-1 is your final.
You got a feel for the Phoenix Coyotes in this one. They really battled the Buffalo Sabres tooth and nail, but they just didn't have enough at the end of the day. Pretty good road trip so far for Buffalo. Win in Anaheim, loss in LA, win tonight. They finish it up in Colorado on Monday.
Let's head to Nashville, and the Preds trying to raise their home unbeaten streak to 6 games, taking on the Blue Jackets. First period looks good. Cliff Ronning passes it to Andy Delmore, puts it through traffic. It's tipped by Greg Johnson. His 12th, it's 1-0 Nashville. Still in the first. David Legwand cuts through, looking to add to the lead, but Mark Denis comes across, puts an end to that plan. Second period, Jamie Hewer trying to put it past the goalie's best friend is there, though, the post. Now early in the third period, puck goes back to Matthias Timander. His blast from the blue line beats Dunham. Third of the game, Scott Hartnell spots Carlos Grantis in the back door. It's 2-1 Preds. Nashville Predators 2-1 winners. When we come back on Molson That's Hockey 2, we'll tell you who was bringing it.
I reject a lot of shoes before I find one I like. After all, not all shoes are created equal. It's not only the style, but also the fit that I look at. I figure that if it works for me, chances are it will work for you too. If, of course, you're a size 10.5. Just kidding.
Well made, well priced, well dressed. Moore's.
I've never seen anything like it. The color, the cut, brilliant. And the center. It's like heaven itself.
It's a muffin, Sam. It's not the Hope Diamond.
Tim Hortons' new Blueberry Burst Muffins. Mouth-watering blueberries and a delicious fruit filling. Enjoy any muffin in medium coffee, just $1.69.
What are you doing now?
Appraising.
TSN has 2 great ways for die-hard hockey fans to keep up to speed. Get things started with Gord Miller and Molson That's Hockey for interviews, analysis, action, and reaction. Gord's all-star lineup includes the hockey insider Bob McKenzie. Much later, check out Molson That's Hockey 2 for the hottest highlights and up to the second updates. It's the hockey poolie's secret weapon. Molson That's Hockey with Gord Miller and Molson That's Hockey 2. Double coverage of the world's greatest game all season long on TSN.
Up to 95% of colorectal cancer can be prevented. Too bad talking about it makes people blush.
Every year, women across Canada get their breasts examined for signs of cancer. But what about their bottoms?
Pierre Maguire, who is bringing it?
We could have said the whole league, but we're going to pick one player who was unfortunately let go by the Chicago Blackhawks, but Pascal Réaume can jump on loose pucks, put him by Roberto Luongo. He gets nice feeds from Danny Heatley and puts it in the roof. Comes down, snaps another one, high glove side, and Trevor Kidd fights for his ice in the slot area. 1 whack, 2 whack, don't quit. Pascal, keep going, put it home. Blown by Darren Van Impe, and he did it. Pascal Réaume was bringing it in the National Hockey League tonight, Todd.
Certainly was. 4 goals tonight. Ottawa Senators get a victory a little bit earlier today. Little motivation for them as they head to Detroit on Sunday?
This is a real test for them because, let's be honest, Todd, earlier this week they failed in a test against the Philadelphia Flyers. They failed in a test against the Boston Bruins. Forget about the Minnesota game. If you're an Ottawa Senator, fan, player, coach, show up tomorrow in Detroit.
We'll be keeping an eye on that one, of course, here on the NHL Network and NHL on the Fly. For Pierre Maguire, I'm Todd Lewis. Thanks for joining us for Molson That's Hockey 2. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Good night.